Hello, fabulous superstar Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month features 24 days of giving. The first 24 days of December, we have prizes every single day. Make sure that you are on my newsletter. You're following me on social media. All those links are below and enter every day for prizes. On December 4, we will have this month's full moon. This full moon takes place at the top of your sky, having to do with career, social standing, life purpose, and your understanding of a higher, more loving vision for your life. This full moon is standing across the sky from Mars and Venus. Whenever we get oppositions like this, especially with Mars, it does suggest that there's a measure of tension here, perhaps going back and forth with another person as part of you trying to align with certain goals that you might have is part of the key characteristic of this energy for you. But I would also add, given that we have Venus and Mars both at the foundation of the chart, this part of the sky has to do with your family of origin, your parents in particular. It has to do with your past, even your childhood is covered here as well. And so when I look at this, it does suggest that it's possible there might be certain developments taking place for you in terms of what you're hoping to achieve, what you're hoping to do, perhaps even career fulfillment or a sense of being more visible. This is the most visible part of the sky. And that's why it aligns with success that much more. Well, there might be a feeling at this time that there might not be the support either from family of origin, or maybe it's just really old messages, even childhood messages as well, that you feel you're becoming aware of as part of what you might have to overcome in some way to align with the things that you desire to achieve. This idea of visibility, being seen by more people than before, as much as it can feel at times to be validating, that is one thing as well that can have us feeling challenged in some way in terms of worthiness and very old messages. So these become some possible scenarios here. I would also add, though, if you work from home or you work with homes, then feeling like your endeavors should align you with greater success, or feeling like you are really putting in a lot of time in your own time and space to make something happen so that you align with success as you uniquely define it, well, that might also be part of the energy of this time for you as well. Regardless, though, full moons get you honest. Mars speaking with that full moon gets you motivated. It's like you are ready to acknowledge what it is that you are really wanting, what it is that you really feel. And you've got all this energy to dedicate yourself in the direction that you desire to go. On the 10th of the month, Neptune will go direct. Now, I like to call Neptune the big sleep because it is an energy that does suggest us being in a space that is dreamy, that might be idealistic, or might be colored by hope, even fantasy as well. But when Neptune goes direct, it is like we're being woken up. It feels uncomfortable. We might still feel groggy. So it's not necessarily like, we're woken up and we jump out of bed and we're sprinting out the door, but rather there's some truth that might feel hard, but we have to admit it to ourselves that it is there. And so for you, this energy of Neptune is going direct in your opposite sign. And that has to do with one-on-one alliances, partnerships of all kinds are covered here. Business partners, professional alliances, but personal and romantic as well, though I'll talk about love in just a little bit. But here's something else to take into consideration with Neptune. I'm going to take you back a little bit. Last year, 2024, in May, Neptune got all the way to 29 degrees of Pisces, the very end of the part of the sky that Neptune is in now. Now, if you imagine the zodiac wheel, right, it starts with Aries, goes all the way around. It's 12 signs going all the way to Pisces. Each sign is divided into 30 degrees, and that makes 360 degrees all the way around the zodiac. Neptune in 2024 got to 29 degrees of Pisces and just stayed there for about 5 months. That is the very last degree of the zodiac wheel, the last degree of the last sign. And the ancients considered what is called anaretic degrees, that is the last degrees of a given sign, to represent a sense of fatedness. The matter has been decided, is what William Lilly said. And so we had this huge event take place last year. And in a sense, it was culmination, but it was like, okay, here's the sense of things coming to a conclusion. But just when you think it is, wait, hold up, let's go back a little bit. Let's reflect a little bit. Let's see how we feel about this. And that was part of what took place. By the time we got to the end of 2024, it was Neptune that was retrograding even a little bit further back away from that 29th degree. Well, now here we are, and we get Neptune station direct. And all this month, Neptune is at 29 degrees. And that suggests that whatever might be happening now might in some way hearken to or help you to better understand what was taking place for you all the way back from the middle of the spring and through the summer of 2024. Now, having said all of that, this is a place of culmination, and it is a place that can feel very fated. And for you, it's playing out in your key relationships. Again, those one-on-one alliances, seeing people for who they are, acknowledging where there's been disappointment. Like I said, it's like waking up, but you still feel groggy. So it's like needing to accept where you've been disillusioned, where you have felt let down. Maybe even sometimes there can be a feeling of some deception as well. But the great thing is, now that Neptune is moving forward, Neptune will next month leave your opposite sign and won't return for about a century and a half. So this really is the last hurrah. And it gives you a chance to sort of make peace with whatever disappointments or disillusionments or deceptions that you might have felt were there in the past. Now you get to see them, but also you get to release any regret or resentment that could be there as part of moving forward towards more meaningful alliances. As we navigate forward, it is going to be on the 16th of the month that we are going to have Mercury leave shadow. Mercury will leave shadow through the foundation of the chart. Home, the past, your living situation, your family of origin, your parents in particular, where that applies. We've already got Venus and Mars there. And so more activity here with Mercury leaving shadow. Think back. It was in the last days of October that Mercury stepped into shadow. On the 9th of November went retro. On the 29th of November went direct. And now, in the middle of this month, Mercury will return to where Mercury was on the 9th of November and the days surrounding it. And so, this is where Mercury was when Mercury first went retrograde. And as Mercury moves over this point, afterwards we'll be on brand new territory. The larger Mercury retrograde season will be over, but whatever's taking place as you approach the middle of this month might in some way shed further light, bring further clarity on what was taking place for you all the way back in November, especially about a week into November as Mercury stood still and went retro. Again, it could have to do with family. It could have to do with the foundations of your life. Your sense of rootedness might be part of the energy of this time and part of the energy that you would have felt. At the same time, though, it can really feel like now you're in brand new territory. If you've wanted to make changes or choices in relation to these areas I just mentioned, well, it seems a lot more clear on that front, almost. And I say almost because it is going to be on the 19th of this month that we will also have a new moon here at the foundation of the chart. Big party going on this month here. And here's the thing with this full moon. It is close in the sky to Venus, right? So that brings with it blessings and a feeling of faith to a certain extent. But what we also have is this new moon is at an anaretic degree. It's at 28 degrees of Sagittarius, representing the foundation of the chart, or the very end of the foundation of the chart. And it is going to be speaking in tension with Neptune. And that is to say that new moons bring with them a new beginning. A new moon at an anaretic degree brings with it an end that allows a beginning. Squaring Neptune, there's some sense of, and I'm sorry to say, there might be some sense of loss or disappointment that is part of what is putting certain things behind you. Part of what is helping you to understand what stays, what goes, and where it is that you might feel ready to begin again. And so if there are changes on the home front, if there are changes related to the living situation, for example, there's also a sense of knowing that as you're moving towards something new, you are leaving something behind, and you might be completely okay with that. You might actively want that, and yet there might be a little bit of melancholy as part of the process, or there might just be some disappointments there as well that have you feeling like you have to make this change or start new in some way. Also possible is a feeling of wanting to spend more time with family of origin, how that might come about, how you might make that come about, the feelings, the emotions that are stirred at this time, as it is a time when many people are spending more time with family. Well, that might be part of the emotion of this moment that might be stirring for you in some way. Where it comes to matters of love, I am going right back to that Neptune, because I think this is set to be an incredibly important moment in love for the Virgos out there. Where you are in love, how you feel about it, what has disappointed you in the past, where you might have been carrying baggage or carrying those disappointments into new interactions or alliances with people. All of that might stir for you in some way at this time. So it's a good idea to pace yourself as you navigate this time, but it can also be an incredibly valuable moment of honesty with yourself. Now, where it is that perhaps you've been caught up in an illusion, that can work out different ways, right? Sometimes it can feel like someone wasn't being honest with us. But sometimes it really can be that we told ourselves this whole story of what a certain thing is or how, but the reality is actually something different. It can be that there's some feelings here of loss, but they might have been inevitable, or they might have been related to a situation long ago, maybe going all the way back to 2024. But regardless of what that might be for you, this is a chance for you to cleanse, to be clear, and ultimately to move towards more meaningful and grounded partnerships with others. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, so much of this is about acknowledging the disappointments of the past, accepting, what it is that might have felt that there's regret, or you could have done different, or you could have done better, or maybe you're holding on to some pretty deep feelings, right? Not always feelings related to longing. Sometimes it's feelings related to anger, even as well, based on what might have taken place before. And yet, this is a chance for you to have certain realizations. And mainly, that realization is what it might be doing to you, and how, whatever you might be carrying, you might just be ready to be cleansed of it so that you don't have to carry it anymore, so that you can move forward from here and move towards greater love than you've known before. For those of you just starting to date someone, powerful energies here in the context of having a deeper understanding about who this person is, where perhaps you've been filling in certain blanks. You get to see it more thoroughly now. You get to see the nuances of this person and what it is that they bring. But I think most importantly, this is about accepting whether or not there's partnership material here. If there is the potential for partnership, you'll be able to see it, you'll embrace it, And it'll be rooted in seeing clearly. But just when you think you see it clearly, you really might not be. So just know the lead up can be really intense. It's almost like you get very wrapped up in the lead up, and then we get to the 10th and you have this moment right around the 10th or 11th, and it's like, whoa, okay, this is what actually is. This is who this person actually is. This is what they've actually been showing me. And this is how I actually feel about it. You get to acknowledge that for yourself in some way now. And it can be a game changer. It lets you know whether or not you are moving forward or perhaps just washing this away. And for those of you in an established bond, for the overwhelming majority, there's going to be a burst of clarity, a burst of perhaps even feeling like certain ambiguities or factors that felt up in the air that might have been worrying, maybe just in your partner's life, perhaps for the two of you. You're able to see it now in some way, and it ends up being a game changer for you. As you are able to acknowledge, to accept, to see more deeply, to see more clearly, either it's going to help you to feel like the stuff that's been worrying starts washing away, or there's going to be the realization that this partnership has served its purpose. There's not a whole lot of middle ground. This can be very all or nothing for partnerships at this time. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It is a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say, I think Neptune going direct is a really big deal. It is in some ways the star of the show with a moment like this now. And it shows you something with clarity, the truth of who another person is, the key alliance is in your life. And where relationships and partnerships are good, they're going to clear away the doubt and you'll find a way forward. But where that isn't the case, anyone who is not part of what is good for you going forward will very likely just wash away. Either really is okay. You're moving in new directions, more inspired, more real, and more rooted in not the sense of being caught up in a dream or a hope or a wish, but instead in what actually is, making it that much more meaningful. Well, thank you so much for watching. Once again, 24 Days of Giving is underway as soon as this month begins. Make sure you're on my newsletter, you're following me on social media and more. You get that many more entries. And of course, if you are one of the members over in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com, not only do you get bonus entries when you enter the draw every day, but you also get expanded exclusive video scopes for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much again for watching, and have a wonderful end of the year. Have a wonderful 24 days of giving and so much more. I'm really excited about those 24 days because we're going to feature, of course, prizes, but then also every single day we're going to highlight one or two different charities. Many of them I support. We support together through this work, and others that other people who are participating in the giveaway, astrologers, people you've seen on my channel, and so much more. Well, they also are going to be sharing some of their favorite charities as well. So be on the lookout for all of that. Thank you so much once again, and it'll be a great month. Enjoy.